Hey, y'all, let me tell you about the wildest thing that ever happened to me. Something that turned my whole world upside down in ways I never saw coming. Picture this. I'm standing at the counter of a rundown pharmacy in East Side, Detroit, my hands shaking, pushing a little white bag of my daughter's asthma meds back toward the pharmacist because I couldn't afford the $60 it cost to keep her breathing. My name's Sarah Thompson, single mom, scraping by, and that moment, God, it felt like the universe was piling on, like I was one bad day from breaking. The fluorescent lights in that pharmacy buzzed like a swarm of pissed-off hornets, and I'm trying not to cry in front of a line of strangers, all waiting for their prescriptions, probably judging me. My little girl, Emma, she's 6, with these big brown eyes and a wheeze that scares me half to death when her inhaler runs low. I'm explaining to the pharmacist her name's Linda, sweet lady with tired eyes, that I need to return the meds because some low-life debt collectors cleaned out my wallet. My ex, Jake, this deadbeat gambler who skipped town, owed money to some shady folks, and they decided I'm the one who's got to pay. Took every dime I had, $3.20, grocery money, gas money, everything right there in my apartment hallway, like it was nothing. I'm begging Linda, voice cracking, saying I'll figure it out next week when my paycheck from the diner hits. But right now, I need that $60 to feed Emma. The whole place goes quiet, like everyone's holding their breath, embarrassed for me, or maybe just glad it's not them. Then, out of nowhere, this deep voice cuts through the air like a knife. Keep the meds. Give her the money. I turn around, and there's this guy, maybe 3 people back in line, wearing a suit so sharp it could cut glass. Dark hair, chiseled jaw, eyes like he's seen things I don't want to know about. He steps forward, pulls out a sleek wallet, and slaps 2 crisp hundreds on the counter. Keep the medicine, keep your 60, and use the rest for whatever you need. I'm standing there, mouth dry, trying to process this. I can't take that. I stammer, but he just looks at me, not smiling, but not cold either, and says, "You already did." Before I can argue, he's gone, disappearing into a black Cadillac with tinted windows, some guy built like a linebacker holding the door for him. Linda hands me the meds and $140 in change, muttering, "That was Dominic Russo." I'm new to the neighborhood, only been here 6 months, so I'm like, "Who?" She leans in, voice low. "He runs things around here, biggest player in Detroit's underworld. You either just got real lucky, or you're in deep trouble. Guess we'll see." I walk home, Emma clutching her stuffed bunny, and I'm thinking, what the hell just happened? Did I just make a deal with the devil? Fast forward a couple hours, I'm at home, counting that cash like it's gonna vanish, when I realize this ain't just about kindness. Dominic Russo didn't get to where he is by handing out free lunches. My gut's screaming there's strings attached, and I've learned to trust that feeling after years of dodging Jake's messes. See, Jake wasn't just a gambler. He was a con artist who left me with a trail of bad debts and worse memories. I moved to Detroit to start over, working mornings at Betty's Diner and nights doing data entry from my laptop after Emma's asleep. But now, I'm wondering if I've traded one kind of trouble for another. Turns out, Dominic was in that pharmacy for his own reasons, picking up meds for his grandma, who raised him before he built his empire. He overheard my story, and it hit a nerve. He's got this code, rules that keep his world from turning into chaos. You borrow money, you pay it back. You break a deal, you face him. But you don't go after innocent folks, especially not kids. That's where his guys messed up. Turns out, the goons who shook me down were part of his crew, led by this guy Frankie Marino, who'd been running a side hustle, squeezing people like me who didn't know a dime. Dominic didn't know, and when he found out, he was pissed. That night, he calls a meeting in an old warehouse by the river, the kind of place that smells like rust and regret. Frankie and his boys are there, sweating under the lights, and Dominic lays into them. He's holding Emma's inhaler, this little $60 bottle, and he's like, "You stole grocery money from a single mom to cover a $7,000 debt her ex skipped out on? You think that's how we do business?" Frankie tries to defend himself, saying it's just how collections work, but Dominic shuts him down hard. "You're not collectorciary thieves, and you're stealing in my name." He makes them sign over assets, Frankie's cut of a betting ring, their own Savingstow, pay back every person they wronged, double. For me, that's $640, plus a $5,000 check for the trouble they caused. I'm not there, but word gets around. And I'm starting to see Dominic's not just some thugs playing a bigger game. But here's where it gets messy. Dominic's enemies, led by this snake named Carlo Vitali, hear about him going soft over me and Emma. Carlo's been gunning for Dominic's turf for years, and he smells blood. 3 days after the warehouse, I'm walking home from the diner when I notice a car tailing Medark sedan, 2 guys inside, watching my every move. I called Dominic, furious, thinking he's got me under surveillance like some mob princess. He's calm, too calm, and says, "Those are my guys, Sarah. You're under my protection now, because people like Carlo might come for you to get to me." I'm like, I didn't sign up for this. But he just says, "You took my money. You're in my world now." And yeah, that stings, because he's right, I did. 2 weeks later, it all goes down. I'm at the pharmacy again with Emma, grabbing her refill, when we take our usual shortcut through an alley. It's too quiet, and before I know it, 3 guys in hoodies and masks block our path. "We just want to talk," one says, but his eyes are cold, and I know they're Carlo's men. They want to use me to send Dominic a message. Emma's clinging to me, whimpering, and I'm thinking, this is Ituri done. But then, out of nowhere, figures drop from the fire escapes, like ghosts in suits, and more flood in from both ends of the alley. Dominic's crew, maybe 20 of them, boxing these guys in without a single gun drawn. His right-hand man, Joey, steps up, holding a phone with their faces already photographed. "You thought we'd leave her unprotected?" This is Russo's territory. The goons bolt, and I'm shaking, holding Emma, realizing Dominic's been watching my back this whole time. Back at my apartment, Dominic's there, waiting. He carries Emma inside, lays her on the couch like she's his own kid, and I see something in him, guilt, maybe, or anger at himself for letting it get this close. He tells me he set up an account at the hospital, $200,000 for Emma's meds, for life. He's cleared Jake's debts, wiped my slate clean. I'm crying now, asking why, and he says, "Because when I saw you in that pharmacy, I saw someone the world's been kicking too long. My world did that to you, so it's my job to fix it." He hands me a card with his number, says, "You call me, day or night, for anything." And then he says something that hits me hard. "No one touches what's mine." It's possessive, sure, but it's also a promise, and for the first time in years, I feel like I'm not alone. So, here I am, living a life I never imagined, safe but tangled up with a man who's both my savior and a kingpin. It's not simple, and it's not clean, but it's my reality now. What do you think? Did I make a deal with the devil? Or is Dominic the only one playing by any kind of code in a world that's forgotten what justice means? Drop a comment, tell me what you do, because I'm still figuring it out.